Hey everybody, it's Coach Simone Kelly here with Own Your Power Radio and Own Your Power TV, and we are launching a new show called Chakra Chronicles, where I will be interviewing light workers to talk about their business, what they do, how they help heal the world. And today we have one of my favorite light workers, Neoshi.
Hey, girl.
Hi, girl. Hey, girl. All right, so we're talking about one of my favorite topics. We've had her on the show already before talking about past lives, and today we're going to this is more of story time, where we're going to kind of share our stories about some fun things that have happened to us dealing with past life, reincarnation for those who don't know about. So how does a past life regression work? What's the process? And, tell us about it real quick.
So with past life regression, and I know you do the readings. Like I said, with you, when you do the readings, it's really you who's experiencing those lives and everything that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the past life regressions, it's my client who's experiencing it themselves, and they're able to basically go back to that lifetime to figure out what it is that happened in that lifetime, why they have certain obstacles that they're having now,
Mm-hmm.
and how they can resolve it. But I give you an example. One client, she was a male physician in a past life,
Mm-hmm.
and he was basically just kind of living his life. He had the wife, he had the kids. He was a male surgeon, so he was very well off. I think it was in like the 1960s or something like that.
Okay, I was gonna ask you if you get years.
Yeah, it was like the 1960s, and he was pretty much just kind of living life, doing what he thought he was supposed to do, but he wasn't happy with his wife. They were just kind of like faking and funk, I guess you could say. And he got to a point where he was so unhappy that he decided, I'm just gonna end my life, and he drowned himself. He went to the ocean, drowned himself, and
What a way to kill yourself. Jeez.
right, yeah. And then after the fact, I found out from my client, because she never told me this before the session, but after the session, she's like, "Oh my God, that's where my fear of water and drowning comes from." I was like, "Okay." So yeah.
Well, for me, I have a drowning story.
Okay.
But the funny part is, I always tell my clients I don't even need cable, because when I do these past life readings, it's literally like watching a TV show. It's like watching a movie. So I'll be in meditation and I'll literally see myself as the person. Like I might see my skin color change or my hands change or whatever.
Oh wow.
Or sometimes I don't see them at all. I just feel it and I see what they're seeing. So in this life, this was a girl, a woman in her 30s, but in this past life, she was a man. And usually I don't just say, let me just do a past life, because we have so many past lives, depending on the person, depending on how evolved the soul is. But I'll usually ask, like, let's ask a specific question related to it. So like maybe her question was related to actually her fear of drowning, right? And I saw her as a man on this ship that she owned. She had a lot of money in this life. And funny enough, in this life, she was born in projects in Manhattan, and the family didn't have a lot of money, but she was very, let's say, bougie. She acted like she had a
prissy, uppity,
very prissy, very up at you. You would never know that she was, grew up in the hood. And then in this life, she became very successful in her own, her own right. And she was able to really be bougie. But it all made sense. It all came together. But anyway, in that past life, she was on the boat as a man, and her best friend was on the ship with her, and they were like, it was like they owned a fisherman's port. That's what I was getting like super details. And in that life, she's having drinks, hanging out with her friend while the fishermen are working, and her friend, quote unquote, gets like a pole or something, some kind of like object off of the ship, and pushes her into the ocean. And the memory was of, I literally felt like I was floating in the water, like looking like, I thought you were my friend. Like, how could you do this to me? Like, it was like a total shock, because it was like a setup. Because it was like the 1800s. They didn't have CSI back then. So, so the part that made it crazy is that the reason why he did that is because he wanted to set him up to make it look like, oh, he was drinking and he was drunk and he fell off fell over, and that friend was having an affair with the wife and wanted to take over the business and take over the money. Well, one of the things that really blew me away when I was doing this past life reading was usually when you do readings, you'll see things or hear things that relate to your life, right? So that you can kind of confirm. So I always tell people your messages are coming through almost like you're deciphering a dream. So it's never going to be like very clear, like, hey, she was an Indian back in 1812. And
okay,
you might see visuals or hear things. So with this situation, I saw her on the boat as a man, saw her get dumped into the water and looking up at her best friend, and I felt the heavy betrayal. So she told me in this life, she has eyes tattooed on her back. And that she had a lot of betrayal in her life over and over again, right? And then, so I started hearing Devon House. Devon House was an area in Jamaica and Kingston where we used to go get ice cream. We had the best ice cream. Then I kept hearing sounds like Devon House. It's almost like playing like charades or something, you know?
Okay.
I heard sounds like Devon House. Then I heard it's Devonshire, England. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know nothing about England. I use every quiz related to geography. But I wrote down, the information. And then we knew that she owned in this life, she actually owned the fisherman's port. It wasn't just a boat. She owned the port.
Oh.
So why we Google Devonshire, England, and it's by one of the biggest ports. Fisherman.
Oh, wow.
In England, yeah. So I was like, whoa. And then the other thing we knew, I don't remember now, but it's in one of my notes somewhere, because this was over 10 years ago, this reading. But certain readings stick out. Like when you can remember like so many details. Yeah. This was one of the ones in the very beginning that made me say, okay, there's no way I could be making this up. You know
right.
What I mean? So we end up finding the boat. The name of the boat, we found the boat, and it was literally like the handwriting, like the old time transcripts. I don't know if they call it for the boat. There's a name for it, but so that blew me away, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. And then like maybe 2 months later, she said somebody came knocking on her door that was lost, and said, hey, I'm looking for the apartment. Da, da. And then she said, yeah, it's called the Devonshire condominiums, and she said she almost passed out.
Right.
Wow. Like, do. Yeah, she ended up,
Twilight Zone.
She ended up realizing it was a neighborhood around the corner from her house. But yeah, it was just a weird confirmation. But yeah, so and then it helped her because in this life she's very guarded. She doesn't trust people. She has issues in relationships, and this is one of the reasons why. Because in that past life, your best friend dunked you over the water
right.
So imagine what that can cause in this life. The ramifications of that. So that was one of my favorite ones. I got plenty more, but we'll be here all night.
Yeah. Right.
You have any more you want to share? Or?
The one that I shared, probably one of my favorite ones is the one that I shared with you on the other show that we did about the girl who had the past life back in the time of the plague, and she watched her children die, and
wow,
that realized that was where her fear of her children dying came from. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that trauma really translates over and over again many times.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
it does.
That's why it's really key to like try to break through some of those things now so that you don't repeat it again when you come back. So you don't have to come back.
Exactly.
How can people reach you, Neoshi?
You can go to my website, MiyoshiHypno.com, to find more information about my sessions, what's included, what we go through, all that stuff. And you can also catch me on IG at Neoshi Hypno Soul Healing, and same thing on Facebook, Neoshi Hypno Soul Healing.
Neoshi Hypno Soul Healing.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And if anybody wants to book a session with me, just go to ownyourpower.biz. I'm Own Your Power on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, pretty much everywhere. And I look forward to hearing from you, and looking forward to delving deep into that past life that you have. So and definitely if you get a session with me, you want to get one with Neoshi, and vice versa, because it's really good to cross reference and check out how much deeper we can go, right?
Yeah, because if you experience a life, they might be like, oh, I want to be able to experience that life, and see what she saw, and then
So. Or they might be lucky and not have to experience being choked or poisoned.
Right. Well, it's not like you're literally being choked. I'm
joking. It's not that bad. No.
Yeah, you don't scare the folk. Don't do that. You don't scare them.
People know me.
Yeah. You're not literally. Let me clear this up. You're not literally being choked, okay? It just, you get the sensation. Sometimes you just get like you said, it's the same thing. They say they get the sense of knowing, they have a knowing, or they just feel like something pops in my head, or I'm hearing this, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or they might see images. Yeah, but yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you, but all right. Settle down, everybody. Settle down. Yeah. These people know me. They know I'm nuts.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, even if they're traumatic or there's heavy stuff, I mean, for some reason, I have some way of making it comedic somehow. That's me. I don't know.
I can relate.
That's why I couldn't do your job, because I'd be laughing the whole time watching people flip out. But you don't.
But you know, I love a good laugh, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for everybody for tuning in to the first episode of Chakra Chronicles. If you have ideas, if you'd like to be featured on the show, if you're a light worker, a healer of some sort, please reach out to me and let me know. You can just email me at ownyourpowernow@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. All right, Neoshi, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.